Hello and welcome to this edition of Hack Studios Highlights. My name is Keith Hayden, and I normally do a weekly update where I update you on what's going on, but this week I decided to do something a little bit different. I want to talk about social media, the state of social media for small creators. And I'm deciding to do this because last week I mainly only worked on one project, and I've been thinking about social media a lot. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to break down all the platforms that I use. There's about 10 different platforms that I frequent pretty regularly. I'm going to talk about what I like, what I don't like, and is it right for you and your business or your creative pursuits or whatever you're doing. And I'll talk about the ins and outs. I'm going to show you my profiles. I've got all of them loaded up, and I just hope this is something that's helpful for you as a small creator. I hope you enjoy this video. Why am I deciding to do this? Main reason is, last month I made a recording that said social media is dead. I still firmly believe that. And what I meant by that, I'll summarize it for you by basically it's dead in the sense that we used to think about it. We used to think about social media as you connect with friends and family, maybe you find businesses, that type of thing. Now we've shifted to it's very algorithmically run. It's algorithm first. It feels like that with a lot of these platforms, and you have to get through the algorithm to get to the people on the other end, the people that will buy your art, that will listen to your music, that will read your books, whatever you're doing. And that's a huge problem, especially if you don't have an established platform, because what I've seen is a lot of people who are established are like, oh, it's so easy. Just do this. Just follow my formula. Buy my course, watch my videos, and do this. Do it the way I did it. But a lot of them came up when things were different. It was easier to get that organic reach and find the next person. Now it's your stuff is racked and stacked against all sorts of people. So it is tougher to get seen. It's tougher to run a business, and certainly tougher to get your stuff found by the right people. So I'm going to jump into this because this might be, I don't know how long this is going to be. I really don't know. It might be long. It'll be at least 30 minutes, I'm guessing. So let me talk about, I've got my stuff loaded up here. Let me talk about some disclaimers first of all. So this assumes that you want growth, that you're not on the consumer side. I'm not interested in like what's the most fun or engaging platform. I don't care about that shit. I only care about what actually moves the needle for my business. What is helping me connect people to my stuff, what I'm writing, what I'm creating, whatever. So that's, if you are looking for that other side of social media, the consumer side, then go watch another video. This isn't for you. This assumes that you're trying to build a community. You're trying to find fans. You're trying to build a business around your stuff. Even if you're not building a business, it doesn't matter. You have ideas, you want to share them, but you're trying to unpack this frustration of our time, which is social media. You know you got to do it, but you don't know how to do it. I'm not telling you I know how to do it. I just have been on a lot of these different platforms, and I've seen what works for me, what works for other people, what doesn't work. And that's what I'm going to share here. Also, I'm not going to talk about monetization because, one, I'm just not big enough to be monetized by any platforms. And two, I'm going to be real with you. Most of the monetization on most of the big platforms like YouTube and Instagram, I think you can monetize there, like through the platform. Like you get paid to, I'm not talking about sponsorships or brands or anything like that. I'm talking about the platform is paying you to post on the platform. You're getting pennies, man. You're probably not getting what you're putting into it. And I've seen a lot of people on X, Twitter, be disappointed by this because they got all these people, this large audience, and they're getting paid scraps. And that's by design, unfortunately. So I'm not going to talk about monetization. I'm strictly going to talk about the ins and outs of each platform. All right, let's talk about some general rules for social media that I've learned over the past 2.5 years. I started on social, really started trying to grow and things like that in that type of sense, probably 2.5 years ago. And since then, I've seen different things that is just fact. that works. First one is visuals always win. Whether it's a video, whether it's a meme or a picture or something like that, it's always going to get more engagement than just words. How do I know this? Because I'm a writer by default, words only. And that's what I started out doing. And it's only gotten worse over time with just words. Most of the major platforms also allow you to put pictures in and videos in and other media. And when you introduce that in the mix, there are naturally people who are putting those other things in. So that's already making your just writing look a little bit more plain. After writing, I was in podcasting. I spent a lot of time. That's where I started. I worked on a podcast for 3 years, doing a podcast version of this novel behind me, my novel, Sirius and Limnick. If you're interested in it, you can check out my website. You can find out more. I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, I made a podcast out of that. And podcasts are also very difficult to share. That's why most major podcasts now in 2024 are also video podcasts. Because video podcasts, once again, it's a visual. Just straight up podcasts, it's a much smaller group of people that really enjoy just straight up podcasts. I happen to be one of them. Maybe you are too. But when it comes to social media, podcasts alone are just no good. And I know this because trust me, I spent years trying to share mine to pretty much crickets. Trends always supercharge growth. They just always will. So whatever platform you're on, it doesn't matter if you're hopping on a trend or some big news story or something like that, then you're always going to grow really fast. I've seen this with Web3. I've seen this with crypto. I've seen this with AI most recently. Yeah, those trends, some last longer than others. And if you do that, I've seen some people from when I saw them first last year in 2023 to now, a year later, they've built huge audiences, and it was because they rode the AI wave very well. I tried to ride it, and I fell off. I got my shit kicked in by the wave of AI. I just couldn't hang with it. But twins are always going to help you if you can stick with them, right? They're kind of hard to stick with. And most major platforms are algorithmically run now, meaning that when you post, not everybody's going to see your post. And that's a huge thing to get your mind around, especially if you're new to this. If you're watching this video and you never really thought about social media before and you happen to find this, or you're just somebody who follows me regularly, then I'm just going to tell you that this is the way it is. When you post, the bigger your audience gets. Hell, even if you have only 10 followers, there's no guarantee that all 10 are going to see. If you have one, then they're probably going to see. Maybe if you have 5, and I'll show you an example of why I know this to be true. Okay, let's get into this. Let's start with the one that I frequent the most, X Twitter. Let me pull up which one, where is it? Okay, here we go. This is my X Twitter account, whatever you want to call it. And this is my primary social media account. And let me talk about real quick what I like about X. First of all, just lots of smart people on there. I mean, it feels like what being alive back in the Renaissance in Europe might have felt like in certain parts of Europe, to where you've just got a bunch of just self-appointed, sometimes enlightened thinkers. You've got tech people, you've got CEOs, you've got journalists and people commentary. You have just people who are just fascinated by different subjects. And it's not just technology, it's other things too. But you just have a bunch of passionate people that are in. And this isn't everybody, by the way. But once again, I'm talking on the creator side. I'm not talking about the consumer side. That's a different story. But yeah, it's easy to find these people, and it's easy to interact with them. I think that's the other thing. It's easy to have real conversations, to really get into it and hop on a space. They will, if you reply, tweet, or post to somebody's tweet or post, then it's almost 100% they will see it. Now, there's no guarantee they're going to reply to you. They're going to respond or do anything with it, but they will see it. And it's relatively easy to post. That's what I like about it. I mean, it's a writing platform at the end of the day, and it really encourages writing. So I do, there's posts. Most of my posts are just writing. And then, of course, I have links and other things in here too. And you see I've been doing Japanese and things like that. Now, what I don't like about X, the bots. I feel like since he announced that they're trying to get rid of the bots, there's been way more bots. And that's the thing about me and Twitter. Like, I opened my first Twitter account in 2017, but I didn't really start using it until 21. Like, really trying to, okay, let me figure out how this thing works. And damn, the bots, I feel like they've gotten worse. And it's just horrible. Like, you just get these bots that like your stuff. Like, I'm not gonna click in because I ain't gonna risk it. But yeah, you see this. Like, I'm like, who's that? Oh, you can just tell. 0 followers, 0 following. It's a bot, and it's really frustrating when you post something and almost immediately you get botted. Like, oh, it's a like, but it's actually a fucking bot. That is just so annoying, and that happens. I want to say at least every day. Every day it happens. So that's annoying. It's 100% pay to play, and I know this because in December of 2023, I started a Japanese only account, and I didn't pull it up. Okay, I'm not gonna pull it up because I didn't prepare it ahead of time. But I started a Japanese only account, and the whole point was to help people learn Japanese. And this account, of course, started from 0. And the first week I didn't pay in, so I just wanted to see, and I didn't get really any reach at all. And of course, I'm talking about learning Japanese, so this is a very niche subject. This isn't AI. This isn't a hot topic, so it's already kind of harder to get organic reach. So I did that, and then I decided to pay. Through most of January, I subscribed just to see the growth, and I posted a lot. I posted 100 plus times in January. Yeah, in 31 days, I posted. That means I posted at least 3 times a day in January. Yeah, it was a lot. And by the end of that month, I had 5 followers, and I'm pretty sure one was a bot. That really sucks for a brand new account. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's really hard to get off the ground with any of these major platforms. But yeah, bottom line is if you're not paying, you're not on X Twitter, you're not even in the game. The Elon Musk worship, it's just an annoyance to me. It's just especially prevalent in spaces to where you just have people like looking up on high. It's just like a religious deity. I've talked about this before, but it's really irritating because it's just, yeah, it's a daily thing on X, Twitter, and it's something you just have to learn to live with. Because I do feel like, for me as a writer, the benefits outweigh the annoyance of having to hear that. I mean, I don't have anything against Elon Musk. He's a smart guy, and I'm glad that he's done what he's done, but it's the sycophants around that are just, it just gets irritating. Trust me, if you're on here as often as I am. And then spaces just don't work sometimes. They kick you out. You can't hear anything. It's just weird. So bottom line, is this for you? Tech, news, if you're doing that. If you're writing, it's good. Real conversations. I say prepare yourself because those real conversations aren't always going to be in your favor. Things that you like to hear. You're going to hear all sorts of things. Yeah, I've seen some crazy stuff on and disturbing stuff on there, but I'm glad people at least are willing to have the conversations. I'd rather have that. I think that's my viewpoint, and I know maybe this is controversial. Maybe people don't like this, but I'd rather have people talking out in the open instead of them keeping it to themselves, and then it's like festering and they're getting angry and all this shit, because that happens. And then we have bigger problems. Okay, so let's move on to Facebook. Why am I on Facebook? Yeah, I'm on Facebook mainly because that's my link to my people in the physical world. So a lot of the people that I interact with, my wife is on there, first of all. That's a big reason to be on there. A lot of the military community, the U.S. military community is on there. And then, of course, I've just had my Facebook profile for nearly 2 decades. So I don't have a lot of friends on there, or followers, but it is a good place to start. So that's what I like about Facebook. Facebook Live, this is another thing I like. It's just really good. It rivals YouTube live streaming. Yeah, I just really like it. When I tried it last month for my book launch, I just thought it was really easy to just set it up, get started, and then run the stream. I thought it was great. And it does have everything in one place. But you can see the first I don't like is that it does everything. And let me just show you what this looks like from the creator side. Okay, we're done with X. And let me get rid of these. And yeah, so I mean, this is my business page, and it's just kind of a mess when you look at it. Like, this is the page manager and promotion. It's just like, what the hell is going on? It's always the first part. It's hard to like dial in what I'm exactly trying to do. It always takes a little bit longer with Facebook because I'm just like, okay, and then I'm juggling multiple pages because I'm trying to get my page to grow. So that means I have to share it through my main page, like my personal page. And this is my personal page, but then it's like, okay, do you want to switch to this page? And it's just very confusing. Like I this is one of the reasons I dread going in here. And then this, yeah, it's not very easy to navigate. That's what I don't like about it. And then it's really hard to find others who might be interested without buying ads. And they do this by design, of course, because they want you to buy Facebook ads, which I've heard are very effective. I've never tried. I've started to try it, but every time I do, I just feel like I'm putting money into a slot machine, and I'm probably just at a loss, eating that loss. Like, I don't know enough about Facebook ads to really try it. And I've heard they can be very effective, but I just haven't gone there. So is Facebook for you as a creator, right? I'd say if you're dealing with physical products, it's still pretty good just because they do have, with the pages, it's very connected. Phone numbers, it's more old school. So it's more connected to the physical world, better for physical products. Live streaming, if you like live streaming and you don't want to deal with the hassle of YouTube is pretty easy to live stream too, but Twitch is definitely a learning curve for live streaming on Twitch. Then go for Facebook. Try it out. All right, let's get to LinkedIn. LinkedIn, what I like, great place to connect with people who are just willing to pay. They have money, because that's the hard part about X, Twitter. You're able to meet people, but a lot of people, they just don't have the money to pay for anything. I mean, or they're not willing to put up the money to pay for anything. Most of the time, it's they don't have the money. And so that's not the case on LinkedIn. If you connect, like really connect with somebody on LinkedIn and they like what you're posting or they like your work or whatever, then it's not hard to get good money from there. Like, I've gotten some really good offers through LinkedIn, and it's not bad when you get a look. And it's easy to post on there, I think. So the problem is it's difficult to get to those relationships just because of the way LinkedIn works. First of all, the first thing what I don't like is link slamming. And I call it link slamming. I don't know if it has an official name, but basically LinkedIn, when you post a link, first of all, they all punish links. All of the platforms punish links, except for TikTok. They don't really punish because you don't see the link. Like, you have to really dig to find the link on TikTok. But most of the major ones punish links. LinkedIn is the worst about punishing links, though. They just stifle reach. Like, here's one that just got stifled. Look at this, 23 impressions. And this was a link to my website. 23 impressions. That is garbage. And if I hadn't had an image or whatever, they changed the link to like a LinkedIn link. So you can't even tell that, okay, this leads to this website, this thing, which is very, very annoying. Very annoying. What else with LinkedIn? Notification inflation. Oh, I hate this. They all do this after a time. Basically, if you don't log in for a certain, I don't know how long, then they start like they know the notification is like a dog dinner bell, right? They ring it like, who messaged me? What's going on? Like they know. It's just that's why they make it red. This is a common. If you didn't know this, this is what they do. And so what they would do is they will show you things that you might be interested in, or they'll show you things that your followers are doing or somebody you follow are doing. They all pull this shit. LinkedIn is the worst about it, just because they will just like random stats or something. Like it's just totally inflated every time I go in. Like, look at this. Your post has this many. Your daily rundown. This guy that I follow that I don't know what he's even up to. And then, okay, here's an important notification, right? These people who viewed my profile. But look, this is an article or something. I don't even know what this is. This is an advertisement. It's like ads in your notifications. And it sucks because what happens is like important stuff like somebody who viewed my profile is buried under this. So every time I go into my LinkedIn notifications, I have to dig. I have to look. And it is really annoying. I don't like it at all. Organic reach is just terrible on LinkedIn too. Yeah. I feel like the stuff that works on LinkedIn is like thought leadershipy type motivational or personal sob stories. Those work well. Yeah, it's not the type of stuff that I like to post. Certainly, it's difficult to search, and it's not great for straight up creative work. Like I've posted my music on there, I've posted my podcast on there, I've posted videos on there. It doesn't seem to work very well organically. And actually, I started on LinkedIn before I started heavy on Twitter 2 years ago, and I saw the same stuff. I feel like LinkedIn it was already bad back then, but it's just clamped down and gotten worse for my type of creativity. Now, is it for you? I feel like LinkedIn works best if you're backed by an established company and you're working under them, then it's going to be easier for LinkedIn. If you're a freelancer, and I should add, if you're like a thought leadershipy guy, if you're one of these like Justin Welsh types people and like that type of solopreneur type of stuff, then maybe LinkedIn will work well for you. You can make it work. Service or client-based businesses work well on LinkedIn as well. Just because once again, people are willing to pay. If they're interested in your service, they're going to pay you, and it's nice. Okay, let's move on to YouTube. What I like, free video repository. Can't beat that. Video hosting gets expensive, and so, hey, YouTube, in exchange, of course, for them getting to like have weird access to your website. I had this thing with Google Fonts, and LinkedIn or links to YouTube didn't help that thing on my website recently. But anyway, you get a very powerful video distribution platform, and almost all websites, whatever, are compatible with YouTube videos, with YouTube links. It's just almost universal, which means your videos are going to work. They're not going to break as long as you have them up. I love that. And it's just, YouTube is still super powerful. I don't know how many users they have per day. It's at least 1 billion, or maybe it's 2 billion. I don't know. But there's a lot of people on YouTube daily. I know we watch it. I'm on there pretty often. It's just people use YouTube. So nice to be on there. Great platform. And one thing I really like about YouTube is that content tends to last longer, meaning like you don't have to refresh stuff. Like you can have, like I have an old video from last year that I just checked it, and it's doing, I didn't even know it had so many views. But it's from like a year ago. It was one of my old Making Mind podcasts up here. And it's got a couple hundred views. So I was like, that's pretty cool. And I'm not promoting it. I'm not doing anything. So the YouTube algorithm can really work in your favor as far as, especially longer videos too. Like this is the best place if you're making longer stuff. I know other platforms let you do longer videos now too, but YouTube is still king for long videos. Live streaming is still, It's YouTube. So live streaming, easy, no problem. What I don't like, fucking thumbnails. I hate making them. I hate the whole thumbnail game. I don't want to be doing, the faces they make on the fucking thumbnails. Like, it's become such a cliche that everybody does it. It's one of those things. But it's so, it's one of those extra steps. Like, I'm already making I already have to make other content that I don't really want to make for other platforms. Making a thumbnail is just one of those things that's often a bridge too far, which makes me make less YouTube videos, because YouTube is another one of those platforms where if you want to grow on YouTube, you better be ready to go all in with this shit. Like, don't fuck around. Like, I'm not actually trying to grow on YouTube. That's why I don't really care about that side of it. But if you are, like, the amount of equipment, the expectation for production quality, how you structure your videos, that's the reason why I started with like a little summary. Like, it's my attempt to, because I know that's a big thing, like to just tell people, hey, in the first minute, is this for you or not? Just, okay, if not, just bounce. But true YouTube growth is difficult. I've seen there's a guy in the AI writing space that I follow, and his channel is the most recent that I've seen that's gone from like, I don't know, a few thousand followers in the last 6 or 7 months to, I think he's got like 15 or 20K now. But he's also in the AI space, and AI is a trend right now. So like we said, trends always work. So it's kind of one of those things. If you're not on a trend and you're just casually posting videos, be prepared to post a fuck ton of videos. Be prepared to invest in like a minimum a good camera and some decent lighting, just the whole YouTube thing, so you look like you belong on YouTube. Because there's definitely, it's not like Instagram level ridiculous, because you can still do like very stripped down YouTube videos and do well. Hell, you can do a faceless video, do just whatever. But depends on what your space is too. Like, certain niches in YouTube have different expectations. Anyway, I don't know enough about YouTube. I'm just going by like what I've seen. So is it for you? Like I said, if you're doing longer videos, then you should check out YouTube. Okay, let's talk about email list. I'm not going to pull up my email list software because there's not much to see. I don't have a lot of subscribers. I think I have like 36 subscribers. But what I like is it's just flat out the best way to reach people directly. Like, if people check their email, for the most part. I know some people, like my brother, he doesn't check very often. But most people do. They'll check it at least once a day. And so it's just, hey, you want your email in the mix. And if they're interested in your stuff, if they signed up, then okay, then that's another chance for you to get a sale or get a fan or make a connection. What I don't like is just email still takes a lot of time. I've looked at a lot of different ways to do email over the past year and a half, and unless you're like one of those rare people that enjoys email marketing, which I have actually met a few. There are a few people out there. But I'd imagine, I feel confident in saying most people don't enjoy it. It's a means to an end. It's just like social media. It's like, okay, I heard I gotta get a list, and now I gotta manage this thing, and I don't really know what to say. How often should I send? There's all these questions around it, and I've taken courses, and I've watched a lot of trainings and things like that, and it's just like social media. There's no right way to do it, and it's still difficult because I wrote this email fatigue. Just people have email fatigue. Like, they get too many damn emails, and I know I'm like that. I talked about this in my last week update, to where there's just so many. You just get a lot of emails that are just not personalized, and so most emails that I get nowadays are automated. They're notifications from other platforms, from stuff that I bought, from stuff that I signed up for that I don't remember why I signed up. It's that type of thing. So I know I'm not alone in feeling this way. It's just you get too many emails and you just don't have time to read them all, let alone like engage fully with all of them. So if you want to know my email strategy, I talk about it more in last week's update. But yeah, I'm going away from sending to my entire list except for this video, like the Hack Studios highlights. I want to only do that once a week at a minimum. But outside of that, like, yeah, I want to do more one-on-one. And that has borne fruit, just the one-on-one emails. I like that strategy better. So is it for you? I feel like you should make a list. I feel like any serious creator or person who's sharing ideas or author or whatever you do, you should have a list. Why not? Hell, if there's even one person that would like to hear from you, because that's the way I think about it. Like, there's one person who might be interested in my book. So what's the chances they'll be interested in my second book or my third book? You get the point. And you want to keep that lane open to where it's like you can at least talk to them, because it's the best way to actually create a relationship between you and the person on the other side, not just as social media. All right, let's move on to Discord. What I like about Discord, smaller focused communities, it just can't be overstated. I mean, that's the hard part about the big social media platforms. It just doesn't you have to get in certain pockets of Twitter, X, Facebook to feel like you're in a community. And it can be very hard to stay in those pockets just because of the way it's structured. Stay in and then go out and find other stuff. Discord is all about small communities, and I love that. Like, around specific niches, interests, games, whatever. Like, some of my best internet friends I've met through Discord in the last couple of years, and so I'm very grateful for that. And yeah, because of that, it's a really easy place to have real good conversations. I've done job interviews in Discord. I've done podcast interviews. I've done like just casual meetups in Discord. And that's the thing that burns me about Discord, because I feel like if it was less overwhelming to navigate and easier for people who don't know about Discord, which is actually a fair amount of people, like, it's still more a niche type of software, then I would use it more, because it's very, in fact, maybe I should set up my own server and just say fuck it and just be like, hey, I'm on Discord, because it just does everything. Like, you can have you don't pay extra to access videos or do live streams or whatever. You can just hop into a room and then there, it's done. I like that. So I might have to explore like setting up a Discord. I've been generally against setting up a community because I don't want to manage a community, but just to have that ease of, okay, let's just hop on a call. Okay, I don't have to fire up Zoom and send you this link, where we at, all this stuff. No, I just do it in Discord. And then finding the right communities can be kind of difficult. Here's my Discord, and I've actually cleaned it up from last year because I had all these AI groups that I was part of. I've since left most of them from last year, but yeah, it's just, there's a lot going on, and then within each community, there's what do they call them? Threads or something like that. There's these different parts of it within each community. So, there's just a lot to go through, especially when you first start in a Discord server. It's kind of overwhelming. So that's what I don't like about Discord. Is it for you? Niche interests. And if you're comfortable using something that requires a little bit more thought, like the main platforms are a little bit easier to navigate than Discord, then you should try Discord. Next, let's move on to Threads, Instagram. So I put them together because I don't really use Instagram that much, but I know about Instagram through Threads, which I have used. Threads is still new, of course, but I've used Threads a little bit since it came out. And Threads, okay, let's talk about what I like for it. First of all, it's a good writing platform. It's a Twitter clone at the end of the day. It's an old Twitter clone that functions very much like X now. It doesn't feel as much like Twitter. The way the algorithm works and what people talk about, and I don't know. It just has that feeling without. It's like X without Elon Musk, basically. It feels the same. What I don't like is the tie-in with Instagram because, once again, because I don't use Instagram, I'm like, well, shit. I feel like I'm behind the curve because I didn't use Instagram, so I came straight onto Threads, and it feels like they're meant to be used together. I feel like that's the ultimate strategy because you've got the Instagram for visuals, and then you've got Threads for writing. You can have those different communities. Of course, they're two different platforms, but that's what it feels like. There's this, yeah, it just feels like they should be together. And I've already talked about how it just feels like X. Lately, my feed is more growth gurus. It's people complaining about growth, especially, I'm an author, so I'm in there with other authors who are constantly, this organic reach, this isn't fair, blah, 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 this isn't fair. Like every other post is something about the platform itself, which is really annoying. This is something that I see on X, Twitter as well, and this is just annoying shit. But it gets engagement because a lot of people feel this way, but it's like false engagement because people feel this way, but it has nothing to do with like finding people's work. And it's very tempting to do this. People do this on X, Twitter all the time. They'll post like their growth statistics or their analytics. And they'll be like, oh, I've had this much down, or I'm up this week, or whatever. It's a very common thing. I see it maybe like once a day. And it's just like, okay, fine. Who cares though? Like, where's your work? Like, what are you doing? Maybe this is just what I think, but yeah, it's really annoying how talking about the platform is what people start to do because it does get clicks. But I think they don't realize that it kind of shoots them in the foot because it's like, you're not talking about your work. You're just complaining about the platform. You should be pumping your work. But then it's that thing, right? If you pump your work, then people don't care as much. It doesn't get as much engagement. So it's really annoying. And then organic reach, I can just say just sucks because I spent, I don't know, I was regularly on Threads last month, and I was posting stuff. You see my stuff here. Sometimes I post videos, post pictures, and it just, nothing really popped. Like it was nothing, and I was engaging with other people too. I know the rules, and nothing really took off. Nothing happened, and so I was like, "Is this thing on? Is this thing even working? Like, what's going on here?" I don't know, but that kind of discouraged me from using it anymore. And my last post was a week ago, but it just, I have 6 followers after doing it. I didn't go as hard as I did with my Japanese X account, but I tried it. I gave it like a good, and nothing happened. So I was like, okay, well, peace. I'm gonna go other places. So is Threads for you? If you're a writer, and I guess it's good for writing because it's not really that great for other things. Like, yeah, you can post videos and pictures, but I feel like most of the stuff that I've seen on here is writing, and the stuff which is nice that you can write on here. But like I said, they're not writing stories. They're mostly complaining about the platform. Okay, let's move on to Substack. What I like about Substack, great place for writers. It's basically taken over for Medium, which I actually started on Medium, by the way. That was the first place that I posted my first blog posts in my early internet days. This was back in 2017. So I started on Medium. And now I don't do Medium as much anymore, and now it's on Substack. So it's good for writers, great for long form writing, whereas Twitter and Threads, short form, really hard to do longer form stuff on those, even if you're paying on Twitter, I'd say. Harder. And then the biggest thing about Substack is the built-in email list. That is great for if you're just starting out. Like, people used to recommend MailChimp if you were new to running an email list. Now I would just recommend Substack because you get all of these other features and you get the email list as well to help you grow that list. And you can and very much should export your list and make your own list. But it's a great place to start. And I love the writer. The writer is just, yeah, they've got a really nice writer. They've made it really easy to make a very aesthetically pleasing posts, and I know that was a big part of their thing. What I don't like, it's getting a little feature heavy. It's getting a little ridiculous. I feel like lately, every other week, there's a new feature in there, and I'm like, what is this? All I came here to do is write, and now we got, all these other things. Like you've got the note feature, which is like their answer to Twitter. And it seems like getting to this page, like getting to my actual publication, is kind of a hassle because the entry point for some is through the notes, but then some is through the articles. I don't know. I just, when I want to go to other people's publications, I feel like it's not as easy as it should be. And I'm like, isn't that the point of this platform, is writing? And so I feel like it's getting away from what it started out being, and I see it happening, and it's just like, oh shit, here we go. We're already going off the rails. And the app just sucks. Like on mobile, the app is just trash, y'all. What are y'all doing with these fucking ads, man? It just doesn't work well, and it's slow, and then you gotta watch this game for like a minute before you can do anything. I hate the Substack app. Trash. Hard to capture those who are really interested. I wrote this because I was like, they may join your email list on Substack, but then I've tried to take that list and make it part of my main list, and it's hard. You're getting the names, but it's still social media at the end of the day. So you're not really owning that person on your list, if that makes sense. It's weird to say, but maybe those of you who've been in this situation, you know what I'm talking about, because it's just really hard to convert them from, okay, they signed up to your Substack. Great. But now what do you do? It's very difficult. So if you identify as a writer and for starter email list for sure, then I recommend Substack. I think you'd like it. But it's getting a little messy. Next is BlueSky. BlueSky is new, another Twitter clone, but this one actually feels like old Twitter. It feels like Twitter before all the changes, before all the crazy. Like even look at this UI. It's just very plain and just, yeah, it's not a lot going on. It's just your profile, and that's what I feel like. I feel like it's a nice feeling. We'll see if it holds on. Still small community minded. It's Twitter light, like I said, feels like the old days. And then, what I don't like, it's just not a lot of people on there. There's not enough people to really have it be effective. But I've only posted a little bit on there, and I've run into some people, and people are more responsive, and it feels like it's like the opposite of Threads, to where I don't see as many people just complaining. I see more people just actually posting their work and things like that. So it's nice feeling. Is it for you? If you like that old Twitter feeling, you want to throw it back to, I don't know, 2011, 2012, something like that. And of course you're a writer like me, then you try BlueSky. You're going to like it. TikTok. And I put these are in the order of like that I use them, by the way. There's an order of use. So we're getting down to the ones I don't use as much. Even though I've posted on TikTok a good amount. TikTok. Okay, here's my TikTok. Yep, it's a bunch of just little videos of me. I only talk about books on my TikTok. And what do I like about TikTok? One, it's just super fast to get reach. I mean, it is crazy. Like, the way the TikTok algorithm works, within 5 minutes of posting a video, it's trying to see how many people it can blast it out to. Like, what's the max number of people that are gonna likely like this and share this or engage with it? That's what it's trying to do. It's super powerful. So you can't really tell. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into any of these videos, but um, yeah, you can see like it's easy to get engagement and it's just quick to make videos. I mean, that's another thing that's good that I like about it. Like, you don't waste a lot of time. Like, it's not like YouTube where there's a production standard or anything like that. No thumbnails, nothing like that. You know, I don't like them thumbnails. So it's lower bar. So it's nice. And then it's actually easy to get into a community. If you just hashtag a certain community a number of times, then it's like default that you're going to be in that community and people are going to follow you and find your stuff. What I don't like about it is it's mobile first. And I actually, for this video, got onto my desktop TikTok, which I rarely do because TikTok was really optimized for mobile, and it feels that way because the desktop experience just doesn't feel the same, and which sucks because a lot of my stuff I do here on my computer, and so I feel like I can only like post videos of myself because that's the easiest thing to do on my phone, but a lot of my work on my computer is hard to share. And so I know I can share it, but it's just not the same. Like I said, it's optimized for mobile, so I don't really like that. It's difficult to get people to take action. TikTok is it's good at keeping people glued to TikTok. So getting them out of TikTok to actually look at your shit is very hard because your shit has to be more engaging than TikTok. That's a hard thing to do. That's a very hard thing to do. I'm not going to say it never happens, but it's very hard to get people. And like I said, the way they put the links in these videos, you got to want to click the link. You're not going to accidentally hit it like on other platforms. So that's the thing that sucks about TikTok as a creator. Like, you just got to. And then I said it's easy to get sucked into consumer mode because they get your number pretty fast. And it doesn't take much for, it's the potato chip metaphor. One video, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 45 seconds. Next thing you on it for 30 minutes. And you're not promoting your work. You're not doing anything. Yeah, it's not good. This happens with all the social media, but with TikTok, I feel like it's the worst. Like, it immediately, it's the way it takes up your whole screen. It's just designed to just trap you for as long as possible. I don't like that. And I already talked about it's difficult to get them off of TikTok. It's definitely difficult to get them to take action. So video first creator, if that's you. Shorter videos, of course. Long form is YouTube. And you just have to have a really good offer to get them off of TikTok. That's it. You need to have a very locked in, solid. The good thing about TikTok is that they're doing the targeting for you. So if they've seen your video, whatever you're talking about, then they already like that thing. So that's a good thing. That's great. But you have to get them off. Like I said, that's the challenge. And so this is where your offer just needs to be rock solid. It needs to be immediate. It needs to be frictionless as possible. Get them, sign them up, get them to pay. Whatever you're trying to do, it's got to be instantaneous. If not, they're going to be sucked back into TikTok. Last one is Skool, and this is one that's newer. It's a community one that I really like, and this is a community that I'm in. So it's basically different communities. It's Discord and Slack mashed together. So Slack I've tried a couple of times and I never really liked it. I didn't really get down with it. It's like corporate Discord, basically. That's Slack. This gets rid of all the extra shit from Slack, and it has a really clean interface, and I just love the way things are organized in this. It's just super easy to tell what's going on, where I need to engage, where I can go to learn stuff. It's just very clear. I like this. Now, the challenge with Skool is that most of the communities are paid. Not all of them are, but a lot of them are. And so you have to, you got to decide if you're willing to pay to go into these communities. But is it for you? there's communities about everything. So if you can find the right community, then I like Skool for that purpose, for having just a clean platform to go on and engage with other people. I thought about setting up my own Skool community, but once again, I'm anti community for community's sake. I'm more of like, okay, let the community grow up itself. If there's a demand for community, then I'll make a community. But if not, I'm not gonna try and make one. Okay. So then I wrote these Japanese platforms. You probably don't care about those, but these are ones that I'm using to grow my Japanese audience. So I wanted to end with a few. Okay, this is perfect timing. This is going to be about an hour. I wanted to end with a few things that I've learned about how to succeed on social. Like, because maybe you've watched this whole thing and you're like, shit, I'm still very intimidated. It looks like a lot of work, which I'll tell you it can be. It doesn't have to be, but this is just the way social media works now. Like it's entertainment over substance, right? Like entertainment always wins. So if you're trying to teach stuff, you're trying to do certain things, you just have to present it in a certain way for people to get down with that. And for some people, that can be a lot of work. I know it is for me sometimes. So how to succeed on social media? Be prepared to invest in content. And it's not just money. Maybe it's just the time to make it. Like I make these every week. And this is at least, it's usually a 2-hour commitment. Like an hour to get it together and actually film it like I'm doing now. And then another to like get it up, do whatever I need to do. And then it might be even 3 hours because I gotta distribute it. You know, I gotta like, hey, I made this thing, so that means sending an email or doing a social media post or both. It's a thing, so you just have to be prepared to invest the time. Like, it just takes time, or you're gonna pay somebody else to do it. Next thing is there's just no guaranteed strategies, and I was talking with somebody in that Discord community that I was in last night, and she was like, yeah, I found this strategy and this works. And I was glad that she found a strategy, but it just stuff all of a sudden just won't work anymore. It will just stop working. And I think it's been good and bad for me because I've never really found like a go-to strategy that, hey, this works every time. Like works as in people engage with it, I'm connecting, people are finding my work. I have not had that. And I've posted everything. I've posted music. I've posted graphics. I've posted code. I've posted apps. I've posted whole fucking books, y'all. Like, so I've tried it. I've been around. And yeah, there's just no guarantees. Some things are complete misses. I won't even say some are hits because they're not. Like, they're just, I've had like moderate success with certain things, but nothing to where I can think back and be like, oh, I need to go back and do that again. No. So you just have to experiment what works for you, what you feel comfortable doing, the amount of time and resources that you have. Just put it out there and start putting it out there. It might be less than you think you need to do. Don't copy and paste from other platforms. This is an old school tactic. It just doesn't work anymore. Like the posting your YouTube link in Facebook. You should just upload to Facebook. I know it's a pain in the ass, but that's the expectation now at a minimum. Even if you upload directly to these platforms, there's still no guarantee it's going to do anything. But I can guarantee you posting another social media link on another platform is instant. Like, okay, deboost. It's no good. None of them want that. And they're all designed to where you can upload videos on almost all of them. You can upload images at a minimum on almost all of them. So it's like, because they've built those things in, if you expect to grow, it's just part of the rules of social media now. There's like, of course, I'm talking social media to social media. If you've got like a link to your website or to a landing page or something like that, or a product, then you have no choice. They're going to punish links. Fuck them. You're going to get punished. you got to link to your own stuff eventually. How the hell are you going to run a business? How are you going to get people to read your writing or see your drawings or whatever? You got to do it. So don't be afraid to post, but just know social media to social media, don't do it. Time and patience, it's just, I should have put this at the end, but that's the way it goes. Getting that one viral post probably won't happen. It's like winning the lottery. It might, but especially depending on your niche, right? But yeah, you can dream. And you should always be prepared. If that does happen, then that's why you have your email list page, your landing pages set up, all that back end stuff that's really annoying to set up. You always have that ready, because if lightning does strike, you want to be ready to catch it and capitalize on it, to where you've got all these people coming to your site or coming to your profile, and you don't got no landing page set up, you don't have a website, you don't have anything else. Man, that's a tough blow, man. You don't want to be in that position. So just make sure you have all this little shit set up to where if you go viral somehow, and I hope you do, then you're able to capture what you need to from what you got. And then the last thing is, you don't need as many followers as you think. This is a fallacy that coming up in social media in the last few years, I've bought the courses, I've listened to the gurus, I've done the advice, I've followed the templates, and at the end of the day, there's different ways to play this social media game. There's the pure numbers game, just get a lot of people, and then eventually they will buy, or there's the more direct, personal focused, and they keep coming back for more. That's the other strategy. And I feel like the default from the people that have made it, that are successful on social media, is the numbers game. And they're the ones that you see, they've got hundreds of thousands of followers, they've got so many likes or whatever. But that's not the only way to run a business. You don't need 100,000. I guarantee you all 100,000 of those followers are not engaged. They're not the ones that are moving revenue for that creator. It's a smaller subset of people who regularly follow them, find them, and purchase their stuff. That's what you want. You want the fan club. You want the people that are going to follow you everywhere. And you don't need 100,000 or 200,000 or whatever, or a million followers to get that. You don't need a few, but you need the right ones. And that's where a lot of these strategies come in as far as what you post. Doesn't matter when you post. It doesn't really even, I don't want to say sometimes it doesn't even matter what you post. Lately, I've just been saying, oh, fuck all, man. I don't care what I post. I'll post something straight up in Japanese. I don't give a shit. I mean, you got to post what's you and what feels like you. That's the caution, is to end up posting guru shit, platitudes, and then people find you, but then that's not what you want to be about. What a sad day that would be. That would be horrible. And that concludes this social media, the state of social media for small creators. It's tough. I'm not going to lie. It is tough, but this is a necessary component of what it's like to be a creator in the internet age. We have this powerful thing of the internet, but then now we've got, for a lot of people, social media is the internet. It just is. That's where they do everything, is in these social media platforms. So you, as a small creator, you got to roll with that and meet people where they are, and they're on these platforms. So you get there by testing, you get there by being patient, and you get there by just trusting your gut, saying, hey, this platform isn't for me. This tactic isn't for me. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. And just change it up. Just be ready to be flexible. That's the way it is. As artists, creators that we are, artist entrepreneurs, that's when it's going to take you far and get you to connect with the right people. And eventually build your business and get people to find your work. Thanks for watching this video. If you stayed through to the end, I know it's an hour long, but I hope you enjoyed the insights from social media. Leave me a comment if you enjoyed it. and you can find me at keithhayden.net, or you can follow me on all these other platforms that you saw me on. Hope to see you around the internet. Take care.